it's Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How are you today? I'm doing well. Today is Friday. You'll probably see this on Saturday because by the time I upload and edit, and it's done in stages, and then I just put it up the next day. Um, so if you're new to my channel, thanks for coming in. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back again and again. I love it when you make comments, and I apologize. I am behind on some of the comments right now, but I always do respond, heart the comments. So I am catching up, but I am a little behind on some of them. So I apologize for that, but I just wanted to get that out there. In a previous video, I commented on Debbie the Canadian Crocheter sweater that she made out of granny squares. It's so doggone cute. I have put the link in the description box below the last video I did, and I think, but it will be in this one as well. I think I put it in there, and I'm going to try to remember to do that. But it was the very last video that she put up as of the time of this recording. When she's talking about the cover-ups that she made. So why am I doing this video today? Today's video is the 10 questions that are going around. 10 what I like and don't like crochet questions. Joe from Joe's Web kind of tagged me in it. She said, I think Lynette might have done this, but I'm not sure. Well, I didn't do it. I didn't see it until I watched Joe's video this morning. And I thought, well, I'm going to do it because I do like to participate in those kinds of things. So here we go. Question number 1. How did I learn to crochet? I believe my mother taught me, and the lady that used to live next door taught her. And then between them, they taught me when I was very young, younger than 10, and I could make a chain. And then when I was in my, I remember crocheting as a very young child with a hook and some yarn, and crocheting really long chains. So maybe that's all I learned at that time. I don't remember. Then when I was in my, I was a young mom, so in my 20s, after Roy and I bought our first and only house, actually, I wanted to crochet a blanket for the back of the couch, which I will tell you I never finished. But I bought some yarn and my mom taught me, and I just wasn't into it. It was time consuming, and I didn't have a lot of time. I had 3 young kids, and Roy worked 2 jobs, so the house and the kids and their activities and their schoolwork and all was pretty much on me, because he was at work from, early morning until late at night, because he worked 2 or 3 jobs. So I didn't have the time for it. And then I didn't crochet again until after my mother passed away, and I found her yarn stash, and I'm like, maybe I'll try this and do something with it. And she did at the end, she did make blankets throughout the years, a few here and there. This really ugly granny square blanket that she loved. It was, I'm sorry, Mom, it just was ugly colors. Green was her favorite color, like grass green. And it's just not the greatest color of green. And it had yellow in it, and they were next to each other, this bright yellow and this grass green, and she had that blanket for a long time. So anyway, she made that blanket, and she made a couple of other blankets throughout her life. Some that I cherish, that I have in storage, that I kept, out. But she was really into Swedish weaving when she passed away, and she had yarn for Swedish weaving. So mostly it was variegated. If you're not familiar with Swedish weaving, you take some kind of cloth she called it, I think, monk cloth. And you weave, it's a very thick woven, it looks like it came off a loom, cloth. And like she would pull sections of the cloth out, because it's like a big thick woven thing, and you would pull sections out and put yarn in, and she would make elaborate designs. She had crochet books, or weaving pattern books, Swedish weaving pattern books, and I have blankets that she made Swedish weave, that she did with Swedish weaving, and I cherish them as well. But I did give the pattern books away one time. Well, obviously only once. One of my subscribers asked for them when I said, if you do Swedish weaving, I have these books, and I'm not going to do Swedish weaving. I don't even know if you can buy that cloth now. By the end of my mom's life, she was having a hard time finding the cloth. And so when she would find it, she would buy it in bulk, because she was having a hard time getting it anymore. So anyway, I don't have the books. Excuse me, the pattern books. Excuse me. So, but she did have a few skeins of yarn, not too many. And I made a bag out of granny squares. I think it was 8 granny squares, and it was acrylic yarn. And the bag turned out like you could fit an entire grocery cart in this bag, and then it stretched because it's acrylic yarn, and I didn't know anything. And literally, we went on vacation, and when I pack for vacation, or I pack my yarn, I pack like 96 projects, way more stuff than I could possibly do. Like, I should just pack one project when I go on vacation, but no, I pack, and I packed this thing, and it was like I had a hard time carrying it. I'm like, I'm just going to bring one bag of yarn, Roy. It was, yeah. That was funny. I don't know where that bag is. I know I didn't get rid of it. It's somewhere, I think. It's probably packed in my crochet packed stuff in the storage unit. So anyway, that is how I did learn to crochet. Then, once I made the bag, which I found YouTube tutorial on how to do that, I got hooked on YouTube tutorials, and just like Joe said in her video, Krista from the Secret Yarnery, Mikey, Creative Grandma, Jada and Stitches, all of those people taught me to really crochet and follow a tutorial and like make things that are not just a granny square. Not that just granny squares are bad. I mean, I'm not trying to say that. Just like they taught me other stitches, and more intricate, more beautiful. But without them, I would just be making granny squares and probably not know how to do anything else. But then I got on YouTube, and I think that's in more other questions. But I'm going to say it now, and I might just go back to question 1. I got on YouTube, and I got on YouTube to meet people and share crochet, because nobody I knew crocheted. And I met Madonna Ballard, sweet Madonna, and Trisha, Mama Swift, and they taught me to crochet. Literally, we were live. It's probably a 4-hour video. We were trying to make something out, and I was using, we were trying to make a circle blanket, and I was using, what is that? Unforgettable? No. Oh, goodness. I can't think. It was beautiful yarn. And it had a halo on it. So it was thin yarn with a halo. So then they said it was 4-weight yarn, but really it was like a string with a halo. It was beautiful yarn. And I still have some, and they don't make it anymore, and I can't think of the name right now. But it did not frog very well. So those poor women, I don't know how they, but I went live and they're instructing me. Oh, it was crazy. They're instructing me how to read a pattern. But they really did teach me to crochet. So then, on to question number 2. A favorite item to make. I love to make things for other people. Hold on just a second. I love to make things for other people. It doesn't matter if it's amigurumi, if it's a blanket, if it's a sweater, if I can figure it out. I love to make things as like gifts. And like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. I just love when I make something and somebody appreciates it and wants it. That warms my heart. Things that are not gifts, just whatever my current project is. If I'm not loving it, I'm not picking it back up. So that means I'm loving it. If I work on it more than once, I'm loving it. And it's my favorite thing to make that day. And different days are different. Different days are different. You know, some days, this is my luck of the draw. When I got the pattern right, and started, this is week 3 right here. When I got the pattern right and I started working it up, I'm like, oh my God, I just don't even want to put it down. I love working on this. And it's big twist yarn. And I think this is, no, it's all big twist, except for this. This is Karen 1 pound. Which, big twist is a nice yarn. I mean, I like this big ball of yarn. It's not like the drapiest of all, but I used a big hook, and it's got drape, and it's soft. And I was just having a great time last night, because today's Friday morning, so the thing came out yesterday, the video from Trisha and Jaxie from Creations by Jax. And I'm just hooking along, and I'm like, oh, I'm already done. I want to make more. Maybe I'll pull out more yarn and make another one. I'm like, no, you got already enough. I can only handle 3 or 4 projects at a time. So, I was loving it a lot. And that pattern is a pattern design on Stitch of the Week number 231, I think, from Creative Grandma. Yeah, 231. It's the V-stitch shell stitch is what she calls it. I didn't learn that from her. I found it on a TikTok and stopped the video and looked at the stitch pattern and said, oh, I can do this. And that's where I got it from, but then other people have told me that that's where it came from. And I looked it up, and that is it. And I think I have put that in the description box. That might be in my description boxes now. But if not, it is video 231 from Creative Grandma. And I'm not going to look for it again because it took me a long time to find it the first time, because I did find it once. And I think I put it in the description box. Okay, so anyway, that's my favorite items to make are things for other people. Number 3, one yarn. Oh, if you could only use one yarn for the rest of your life, what would it be? Honestly, it would be Stitch Studio from AC Moore. I loved that yarn. It was the cream color label one. They're like store brand everyday yarn. It's soft. It's squishy. I loved that yarn. And I kind of forget about it until I touch one. In my graph gan, the black is a Stitch Studio yarn. And I knew it instantly. I pulled it out of my scrap basket. I went to storage and I found I have a bin of scraps, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pull out some of these colors for the graph gan. And there was black in there, and it did have a label on it, but I know that was my Stitch Studio. Stitch Studio by Nicole. I love that yarn. And if that was the only yarn I could ever use again, that's the yarn I would buy. It's a 4-weight, so it's acrylic, so it's washable, it's dryable, it's soft, it's you know, it's versatile as an acrylic yarn, and it came in all different kinds of colors. So, you know, people won't be allergic to it. Like for boggy blankets, for everyday crochet, it draped well. I loved it. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I keep getting spam phone calls. Um, so that would be the yarn that I would use. I can't use wool, so like all those wonderful wool fibers that everybody loves, I don't use those. I do love the True Boo. That would probably be the 3-weight True Boo that I made that tunic out of. I loved working with it, but it does split a little bit. Um, and it's soft and nice, but not as durable as, oh, maybe it is. I mean, it's bamboo. I don't know. Um, but I would go with Stitch Studio. Let's see. The weirdest thing I ever made. Well, there were the pee-pee gnomes that I've made several of. I loved making those too. Those were fun. Uh, so the pee-pee gnomes by Nova Gnome Creations. She has a tutorial. And they're fun. And I did love making those. And it was a weird thing to make. And I made several because I gave them away. And I made this Swamp Thing mask. I don't know. It was, I think, an auction. I think we were doing the auction to buy the wheelchair. And I think that's where it was like giveaway. The giveaway was one crochet item of their choice, as long as it was something I could make. And she wanted a Swamp Thing mask for her husband. It's a complete face mask. And there's a tutorial out there because somebody, I couldn't have done it on my own. I didn't even know what Swamp Thing looked like. And I used camo yarn, green camo yarn, I think, as I recall. And I used this tutorial out there, and you could just Google Swamp Thing mask. It had eyes and a mouth, but I think it had tentacles or seaweed or something that's supposed to be hanging out of it all over the place. She loved it. Her husband loved it. And this woman crocheted, but she couldn't figure out the mask, as I recall. And so she said, if you could make the Swamp Thing mask. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I don't know. But it turned out the tutorial must have been pretty good because it worked out. And that was a couple of years ago, several years ago now. And I know I wouldn't have a picture of that anymore. Something I would never make. I like to be adventurous and try things. If I didn't, I'd still be making those granny squares, like I said. You know, as far as that goes, it's yarn. You can pull it out. You know, you can always frog it if you don't like it, or if you don't like the project, or it's too hard to handle, or whatever. And you don't have to feel bad about it. You know, it's reusable. Just make something else out of it. But I don't think I would ever work with crochet thread. I don't think I could see well enough to work with crochet thread. And I have pretty good eyesight. My far isn't so great, but like I could drive without my glasses on if I wanted to. I just couldn't read the road signs. As long as I know where I'm going. I don't wear my glasses in the house. They're for distance. But I find that when I crochet, if I have them on, I don't get as much eye strain. But I do get eye strain still. And when I work with smaller yarns, the eye strain is a lot worse. Working with that 1-weight yarn on the blanket that I'm making from Juan's tutorial, it's right here. That's why I'm pointing to the bag. I can only work on this for like a couple of rows, and then I can't see. And it's the yarn is this thick. It's a 1-weight, and I think if I was trying to work on thread, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it's one thing I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't go to the expense of buying the thread, knowing that I could probably not even see the stitches well enough, long enough to be able to do a row. You know, that tiny, I just don't think I could. My eyes wouldn't handle it. Even when I crochet with 4-weight yarn, if I'm doing it like for a long period of time, I get eye strain, and my vision is blurry. I can't see. I have to like close my eyes and sit there for a couple of minutes to let my eyes rest, and then hopefully be able to focus outside of this distance. And then they start to get blurry even at that distance if I'm doing it for a real long time. It used to be we would have an hour drive from our house to this camper, and if I crocheted the whole time, by the time we got here, I couldn't see, like, look up and now see the campground, and I would be blurry, and that was an hour. But I could still see my stitches fine. Crochet much longer than that, and the strain would just be bad. Some days are worse than other days, but I wouldn't even attempt a thin yarn because, thinner, that 1-weight, like I said, gets to me faster than I'd like. And after a row or two, I'm like, oh man, I can't do this anymore. So the last time I picked that up, I did 2 rows at one time, and literally had to sit with my eyes closed for like 10 minutes before I could get up and walk around the camper without tripping. So, as it gets bigger, I might not be able to go all the way around the square. We'll see. I'm still going to finish it regardless. But that's something that I don't think I would ever try it, just because I don't think I could do it. Inspiration. What inspires me? Things other people make. So YouTube, TikTok, the reels on Facebook. I love to scroll through all the crochet stuff, and and I do that frequently. Oh, look at what she's making. Oh, look at what he's making. Oh, look at what they're doing. Can I do that? And then look for a video or whatever on YouTube. And then whatever everybody else is making on YouTube. Excuse me. What I see my friends making, I get inspired by them. Sometimes the yarn, just like the smiley face blanket, that ball of yarn just stared at me and said, make me this. I said, okay. And it became a big smiley face. Future crochet plans. I have, honestly, probably 9 projects in-bagged with the yarn, with the pattern, or the tutorial, notes on what the tutorial is, in my small camper that I packed when I packed the underneath side of our bed full of yarn projects that I wanted to work on while we were traveling over the winter. I did not touch one of those. I mean, I had the ones that I had already worked on, that were works in progress. And so I guess my future is I need to get in there and start on the projects that I have previously said I was going to do. There's a to-do list about 9 million things, 9 million lines long, and you add to it and add to it and add to it, and you get to some and you don't get to others. I've never gotten to those. I thought I will get to these because I have nothing else to crochet. Oh no. People gave me yarn. I bought yarn. I went to places. I did things. And then I started other projects. So there's that. And I have not been under that and pulled one project out when we left in February. And you guys know I've crocheted. I've made things. So a future is I wing it. there's not really a major plan other than when we're traveling again. I will be yarn crawling, at the local yarn stores when I can, when we have time, and there's some available. Like, we were in places where there wasn't a local yarn store for like a 2-hour drive. Like, dang, not going to, not, we didn't do that drive. So my plans for the future are just whatever comes up, because that's generally the way I live my yarn life, is winging it. And that, I guess, also, let's see. Oh, that was, plans for the future was number 7. Number 8. The worst thing about crochet. You hear the crickets? I don't think there is a worst thing. Honestly, I could say for some of us it might be the mess. Like, I don't have a lot of space for crochet, and it wasn't a problem in the house, but here, and in the other camper, which is smaller, is my projects. I got project bags and like not really space to put them, so then it looks like a mess. Maybe that. I don't consider my yarn collection a problem or a bad thing. I don't consider the time that I spend crocheting a bad thing. Frogging, because you made a mistake five rows ago and you frog it all back, that could be a worse thing. I don't know. I don't really find too many bad things about crocheting. I mean, there's a lot of good things about crocheting. My husband would say that it keeps me sitting way too much. But I have seen people walk and crochet. They like have a little bag around their neck instead of on your shoulder, and they just crochet as they walk. And I thought, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know that I'm coordinated enough to walk and crochet at the same time. Maybe the little granny squares I'm making I could do that with. I don't know. I'm leery to try it because I tend to have to see where I'm going more than, so I don't trip. Let's see. What's the favorite thing about crocheting? Everything. I love collecting yarn. I love the friends that I've made because of crocheting. I would probably be almost friendless. Most of my friends, even though they're not close, they're crochet friends that I met through YouTube, that I chat with, that I Zoom with, that I go to visit. They're crochet friends. So that is probably, let's see, favorite thing. Oh, worst thing about favorite thing. Yeah, probably my favorite thing about crochet is the friends that I've made. And it gives me something to do besides sit around and eat. Because sadly, eating is one of my favorite things to do. Eating things I shouldn't eat. Let's see. Favorite thing I made this year. I don't know. Usually it's the last thing I finished. Yay, finished it. I love this thing. I do like the top that I made. It's not what I envisioned, but I do like it. That turned out well. I like my smiley face blanket. I like that little top I made, the with the dragonflies on it. That was fun and interesting to make. I don't. My smiley face was fun. I mean, the finished product I really liked. I don't know if I don't know. Every time I finish something, I think it's my favorite thing until I finish the next thing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Then the bonus question: the best and worst things about being a content creator. The best thing is the friends that I have made being a content creator. As I said throughout the video, the majority of my friends, my sisters, are sisters of the heart of crochet. The worst thing about being a content creator, you can put pressure on yourself to make videos, and that could be a worse thing. Sometimes it's hard to come up with content. What are you going to talk about? If you don't crochet, you don't. Yeah, I mean, you got a crochet channel and you haven't crocheted, or haven't finished anything, or you haven't. Then you don't have anything really much to talk about. So that can be a pressure. It's been a pressure for me. I didn't write any notes down on that as to what's the at some point there I felt pressure to grow my channel. Like I hit 5,000 subscribers and now I'm still at 5,000 plus subscribers for a while. If I make videos every day, I do add a few subscribers more, but I don't have content for that. And so like there was a time where I'm like, there was a time that I would go yarn shopping just so I would have content for a video. Not that I didn't want the yarn, don't get me wrong, but I can't do that anymore because I don't have any way to put the yarn. I quit doing that because I don't need content like that, or for that purpose. And it wasn't like, oh, I'll go buy yarn so I can make a video. No, it was like, oh, somebody else bought yarn and they found this really good sale, and so I don't want to miss out on that. And then it would give me content. Oh, good, then I can make a video. That'll give me content for a video too. So it wasn't like, oh, I better go buy some yarn so I have content. But it did work together. I don't have a lot of worse things about anything that has anything to do with my YouTube channel or crocheting, to be honest. But if the pressure to make videos can be considered a worse thing, I think. And you put that pressure on yourself. How badly do you want to grow a channel? I don't have the setup or the space here to do tutorials. I really am not I mean, I have made things like my tunic just off the top of my head. My shirt dress. Could I do a tutorial on it? If I had the setup, I probably could. But I'm not like that. That would be a worse thing. That would be putting pressure on me. I have done a couple of tutorials. It wasn't my funnest thing to do, but I think having that helps you grow your channel. And if you're, I think you can feel pressure about that as well, growing the channel. But I don't feel that pressure anymore. I'm like, you know what? I did this because I wanted to meet people in the community. And I have met a lot of wonderful people in the community. So I accomplished my goal. And I think those people will be my friends forever. Particularly my Zoom sisters. I mean, we're not going to stop being friends. If I never made another video, I know that my friends would still be there, my close friends. And I know that if I made a video once a month, or that I would still have people that would come to my channel because they missed me as much as I miss communicating with them. So probably the worst part about being a content creator actually is that there are a lot of people that I would be better friends with if I was closer to them, and I can't be. You can only be in one spot. But I would love to be able to meet up with and be friends with, hey, let's go to lunch today, a bunch of different, so many more of my subscribers, my yarn friends. There's a few in this area, but they're far, far away. There's nobody like close, even on my YouTube streets, locally. Hopefully, as we depart here, I will be mindful enough to, when we're going to be staying someplace for a while, to like maybe have a meetup of people in that area. I know I'm going to be spending a month in South Carolina. I'm going to spend a week at the Outer Banks, um, providing that everything is good there. I know they had some terrible flooding recently, so say a prayer for those people. Um, but we're going to be a month in Myrtle Beach and that Myrtle Beach area. Then we're going to be 2 months in Florida. Um, then we're going to Mississippi for a couple of weeks. And I know in Florida I will see people, because I'm going there specifically to see. And in Mississippi I will see people that I know. But it would be nice to be able to see other people and say, hey, we're going to go to this yarn store, or I'm going to go to this yarn store, and come see me. Um, and hope maybe I will be able to set some of that up along our travels. I know that when we go to Arizona, I want to meet Fuzzy Butt. Um, I think that would be kind of cool. And so the worst part about being a content creator is making friends that you don't really get to see. Yeah, I'll stick with that as the worst part. But I love being a content creator. I love getting on here and talking with you guys. And as you can see, I'm 36 minutes into this video. I can talk. So that's it. That's the 10 questions, in my life story all at one time. If you haven't been tagged and you want to make the video, make the video. That's who I'm tagging. Anybody that wants to do the 10 questions and hasn't done it yet. So I won't specifically call anybody out because they've probably already been called out. According to Joe, this has been going on for a couple of months. I hadn't even seen it before until I saw her video. So, but I haven't been watching a lot because here we've been busy. So anyway, that's what I got. Thanks so much for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, all those things. Really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.